On.
Oh, done. You know, he has like this 3/4 with the little sure flow pump.
Yep.
That's almost what we were thinking here for now. You really ain't. So yeah, it's weird because. So what? Because you want to be able to come through here, right?
Well, there's this pocket right here. You can go. It goes way up to the big mamas there. This is our property line here.
Okay.
But then there's this whole fence ride for all the way down to those big trees. There's a bunch of maples we can tie in. And then actually here down 100 yards is loaded with big mapes.
Okay.
I can't do too much with that one. This fence row, you know, I own all that. And all back here, I can do whatever I need to do with those.
Okay, but like this corner, then you don't own that.
That's correct, and that's,
okay.
Yeah. So basically, I think we'd be, and I gotta get out of here at 2 o'clock for that meeting, but I'll show you what I'm thinking. We got plenty of time. Yeah, this is, I can do anything here. I can cut, same as Nick, I can cut, log,
Yep.
trim it better, clean it up.
This is fairly well cleaned up. I mean, obviously in there it's all brush and chip, but that's just popple. You know, those are all popple fruits anyway.
Yeah, that's not gonna be much of interest there. All I'm gonna do is fill the trail up the edge so that we can get to the start without having to use their trail.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can run all these together. And yeah, from here all the way down to where we want to put our shack has a pretty decent flow. I think, but we're open to whatever you suggest we're gonna do.
Yeah. So, yeah, right about here is where it starts to fall off the other way. Then, of course. So, like, probably the easiest way to do it is just run a short stretch of main line up here. So it's kind of long to run 5/16, and there's enough taps here. You know, you'd have a short stretch of main line going, and then if you want to continue on the other side of the fence line, keep the main line going and put a road crossing in there so you can cross through.
Oh,
there
you can
on
do
there.
that?
Yeah. So basically, there's fittings you can do that you just take apart every year, so you can get across there real easy.
Oh, so we hook
So
it
it's
up
almost
season.
like a union.
Yeah,
on both
yeah, it's like
sides?
a stainless. Well, it's actually like a dairy fitting that you just clamp together, and then you have it. Usually, guys set it up with the over-centering chain tighteners or a come along or something like that, so you can get it all nice and tight so it flows.
We got
easy.
that.
And then this time here, take it apart.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as you get everything cleaned up, take it apart, and then you've got your full access yet.
So what tree would you use here to the end?
Probably not that big maple tree, but that other maple tree right at the end. Or I guess you could even maybe go back in here and grab, because you had to run 5/16, so maybe even like that.
Oh
one.
yeah.
Okay.
This I'll get this out once I get that road built.
That ash is not fun to throw either.
No.
And then
Which
you would run it through here, or would you try to stay on the bottom side?
I would probably just get right on the bottom side. Maybe not dead on the bottom side so you got some trees to run it into, but I would try and run it through here. Because if you got a few that are coming up, it'll be fine. But I would probably run it, in this.
And then just make short little laterals. And grab 3 of them, and
Yep.
that way we're not using a saddle for one tap.
Yep. Yeah, when this one is so close together, you have short laterals. I wouldn't don't run 30 feet of 5/16 to grab one tap to get it on a lateral, because by the time you gotta buy 30 more feet of 5/16, you might as well just buy a saddle and be done with it at that point. But
and then just grab all these, run them in there. So this is probably leave one tree out of the 3.
yep, pretty much.
Everything.
I think the top's pretty much gone out of the one.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Two of them are garbage. And like something like this, you can try tapping and see if you find some good wood for a while, but this one you might struggle with that it's going to be a giant vacuum leak, because it's basically hollow.
That would be one where we would determine whether it's good or not.
Yeah, drill a hole in it.
When we're tapping.
Yeah, when you're tapping, or sometimes even you'll tap them, they'll seem good, and then you get halfway through the season and you can tell they're just leaking air solid. Pull it off,
I had one
slice
of
it
them
out.
on 3/16.
Yep.
And then just clean this floor up really good. Hey, this would be a 9-incher.
Yeah, no, that's tappable tree for sure.
But this will come out. Some of these are kind of open on top here.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'd get too aggressive. Like this one, I probably wouldn't tap, even though it's a little bit close, because there's not a ton in that direction. I'd probably just leave that one grow up a little bit more. That one's certainly tappable size tree.
Oh, but when they're tight, take them out.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're not worried about ground space. They're worried about what they have up there.
Exactly.
And these two have nothing up there. Leave that one.
Yep. Yeah, leave that one. That one's tappable size tree, even the big one. Them other two might as well come right out of there because they're never going to mount to nothing anyways. Same with like in here. These two, or this whole clump right here, this whole thing might as well come because they're never going to get the chance to be decent with these two big ones right
Yeah,
now.
and those two big ones are decent enough.
Yep.
And then this one has its own little area there, I guess.
Yeah, I would leave that one for now. That's not a super healthy long-term tree, but tap it till it doesn't do nothing no more, basically.
And then this, save all those, just let them grow, hey?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then maybe next year I go through and take out the better ones,
Yeah,
or
exactly. Take a few of the junky ones out and try and get them, because you do kind of want to let them, you know, as they're growing up, keep them some room to be growing.
But when you guys skid steer, you get a little bit cleaner than this. And this was a lot of snow on the
This
ground.
is usually about how, I don't worry about getting it like all this little brush. I mean, you're going to get some of this that comes back anyways all the time, but this is about how clean I get it.
Okay.
Because when you're tapping and stuff, generally there's snow on the ground anyways, so you can go over.
Oh, true. Yeah, we always.
Was this done with the brush mower with kids?
Yep. Yep. But we had snow on the ground when I did it.
What brand of mower do you have? You don't mind
Davco.
I have not seen that.
Davco is what all like the Northern Clearing and all the big
Okay.
power line companies use. It's just a big circle one off of a 289
Okay, so you
high
got a
flow.
big skid steer then with high flow to
Yeah,
run it.
yeah. And I'll just come through the skiddy and I'll just clean it all up as best we can. And
Yep. Is
So-
that one of the ones with where it's actually a drum, or what do they call it? Not a drum mulcher, but the other type where it's not mower blades on there. It's actually like a wheel with like big teeth on
oh
it.
no, it's 4-blader.
Okay, it's
Yep.
a blade one. Okay.
So it works for grass pretty good
Yep.
too.
Yep.
So we have to get to here. Then we were thinking about running, dropping some big cedar posts right in here
Yep.
to run it to. Then we got to figure out how to
So basically, if you put a post to make your end tree, because you don't have anything, so put your post wherever it's got to be your end tree, but it's not a tree obviously, and then that one can either of those two can be the end tree on the other side. So then you put that tubing up during season, but then you can keep going that way. You know, if you want to run that main line longer and get more down that way, you can just keep on continuing it down.
this.
So, do you put any ball valves in your mains?
So all the main lines that have, like where they go in the releaser or connect to another line, we always put a ball valve in them, so you can shut things off to isolate leaks and so.
So like at my house on them, is it just one? Would you put any in there?
I would not up the main line. I would not worry about ball valves, but I'd have ball valves on all of them right where they come in the releaser.
Okay. What do you put on the very end of the line?
A plug. There's
Okay.
like it's a plastic plug that goes in there.
So like this is the one. What?
Just a second.
What? Like this is the major like thinning.
Yep.
Some of these. It's this whole row, but they're just all pretty much. We should be able to pick up quite a few through here.
Yeah. And yeah, you go through here, and obviously, because it's a fence row, it needs to be kind of selectively get the garbage out of here. You know, obviously, and this little patch of trees, this is your good one. This one is garbage, you know, maybe leave one of the other ones, but then the rest of them can all come out of here. That's a nice tree. You know, here, you got two decent ones, and then those little ones can go, you know, kind of work your way through and just open it up a little bit more.
Okay. Fit him.